Today, Rosie the Riveter is commonly viewed as a representation of the strength of women taking on full-time jobs during World War II. However, in spite of this, she does not represent all that women had to do to make up for men being drafted and shipped off to war. The American housewife had to take on significantly more roles than she did before 1941. It took more time, more energy, and more work. Many women during the war began taking on full-time jobs as more and more drafted men left vacancies in the workforce. Women joined the workforce for a number of reasons, including needing to make an income or simply wanting to help with the war effort in a more hands-on way. Regardless of her reasons, a woman's full-time job, along with her travel time to and from her work, meant that she had less time to do her housework, which was essentially a second shift of work. As one newspaper article put it, every working woman worked 2 full-time jobs. They had to help to man the war plans, and they had to run their homes. Because of this, women had to sacrifice their time for leisure, or even sleep, to instead finish household duties. Propaganda, like this clip from a Walt Disney short,
Don't throw away that bacon grease. Housewives of America, one of the most important things you can do is to save your waste kitchen fats.
encouraged women to support the war effort by rationing and saving household goods. Along with taking time to collect and turn in food waste like that, women also had to be aware of whether the foods they were going to buy were going to be available. In order to do so, a woman had to go through magazines and newspapers, which took time from her other household duties. Rationing encompassed a large part of the additional duties for the American housewife. With rationing came ration points, meal planning, and substitutions of goods, all of which made shopping and cooking take longer than before the start of the war. Ration points were the way to make sure every citizen could get a fair share of a product during wartime when goods became limited. Women had to carefully plan out all the meals for the week to ensure that they had enough of a ration good and enough ration points to cover every meal they wanted to serve. Additionally, in order to overcome rationing, women started canning a lot of their foods to have it last longer and be available when foods, like vegetables, weren't available in stores. Canning took time for having to blanch or pre-cook foods, and the actual process being both labor and time intensive. The amount of time each food needed to be processed also varied, so a housewife would have to make sure she had the proper information for each food she was canning before starting. The planning that went into growing vegetables to can also took time. Many women grew their own vegetables in victory gardens, which took time and energy, not only to manage, but to plan what, how, and when to grow plants at the optimal time. If a woman planted too many vegetables at once, she would likely end up wasting food, since it was considered best to not let food sit a long time between harvesting and canning. Many women turned to magazines and government-provided documents to learn how to can and garden properly. Why care about the extent of an American woman's domestic labor during World War II? Because despite many women leaving the workforce and returning to doing only housework after the war, these women proved that they could take on a full-time job and still maintain all household duties. They paved the way for the modern working mother to be able to balance taking on a second shift.